Hey, welcome everybody, and welcome to a new episode for my data playlist. I have been doing a lot of episodes for learning Dutch in Duolingo. Yeah, if you go to my playlist, that is on my YouTube channel, that is Lazy Yogis, there you will find I make a lot of contents about data, then investing in cryptocurrencies, etc., etc. But it's been a while since I made any or shared my knowledge on anything regarding data. So I thought, okay, let's make a good one, a good video regarding Power Apps, which is used day to day in all the organizations, and maybe some points or some tricks that I apply, maybe it will help some of the aspiring Power App developers. Okay, without further ado, let's begin. Well, I have a this is a compact session, and in this one session, I will share about how to create star schema within the Power App and SharePoint environment, and then displaying data tables in Power Apps, as well as the knowledge about CRUD, which is create, replace, update, and delete techniques using Power Apps and SharePoint. Well, already there are a lot of videos available, but then in one compact video, I am sharing all of my knowledge so that you already know how to work with Power Apps or whether Power Apps should be used or not, because you can already use Azure and a lot of other things which does the same thing. Well, Power Apps has a UI which is beneficial for low code developers, and it's easy to deploy also in with the help of Azure Active Directory only. So I think Power Apps has a lot of benefits, but as well as it has a lot of limitations. Like if you have a big data set, or if the Power Apps is being used for inputting or input of or a lot of data within a day, and over the time it grows, and you need a lot of columns, a lot of images, then Power Apps really becomes slow, guys. I have observed it, and in the organization where I'm working, there also we have observed it. So it's better to find some other applications if you intend to use something for collecting data which is in terms of millions or something. Okay, today I'm going to show how you can create a star schema. Well, the idea is that whether to create star schema in Power Apps or with the help of SharePoint, where the data is stored, or use SharePoint as the basis to create the star schema, and then display the results in Power Apps as just a viewer. So I am using SharePoint and to create tables, and there I am creating the model there itself and just displaying the results in Power Apps. Okay, so I have considered to make a machine breakdown time app where the logs of breakdown and services, or the service location where the machine was taken for repairing, yeah, something like that, repairing that those logs, those transaction logs, I am recording in SharePoint, and yeah, so for that I have created three sample tables. Means it's I'm not going into the details, just I'm showing how to create this kind of apps. For example, I have in star schema, you already know that there are facts and dimensions. If I go to the definition of star schema, there we can see that a star schema has a fact table, and in the fact table it contains a foreign key. What is the definition of foreign key? Yeah, guys, you have to, or you should know before going diving deep into this video. And in star schema, all the edges are the dimension tables, and in dimension table there are primary keys and other records. Yeah, each dimension table is unique in its own way. There are no redundancy there, and that is the purpose of star schema, also to avoid redundancy. So sorry, the fact table or the transaction table constitutes, I'm telling it as transaction table because of many reasons. But then, okay, fact table has the information about the foreign keys, and the foreign keys are coming from these primary keys itself. Okay, so this is what we are going to do in SharePoint. I have a fleet number SharePoint list which looks like this, a fleet number where I have information of the fleet number. So this is one truck, this is one other truck. These are the truck numbers, these are unique, and the type of the truck or the type of fuel that is used in the truck, that is LNG, diesel, and mixed. I have created a sample for you guys, and then here it's the date of creating this record and who created this record. Well, creating a SharePoint, if people are new for SharePoint, to create a SharePoint list, well, creating a SharePoint list is very easy. Just you have to go to the site contents, and here is a list, new, and then create on the list. And it will ask, okay, what you have to do. Either you can import your data from Excel or from CSV, or if you have another existing list, that just bring in. Here, yeah, just create a new table, and yeah, we don't need to show all the SharePoint lists here because already we can go into the site contents and see what are the lists available here, and just name test ABC and description, etc., and then just click on create. By clicking on create, it will create a new SharePoint list, and then later you can start adding columns or records. For example, if I want to add columns, I will click here, and then it gives me a drop down of what type of column I need to add. For example, I need to add only date time column. I can click this, then click next. Even also I can click here and see. So let's create 2 or 3 columns. It's another text field which is like description, and then I can also delete this title column. So description is here, and already if I click show and hide columns, and if I don't want to show this column, then I can click this. I can hide this also. So this is how you work with SharePoint list. And if you want to see the total list of SharePoint lists available in the in your workspace, then you can just go here, and here you will see all the SharePoint list that is available here. Yeah, you can delete also the SharePoint list by just clicking on these 3 dots and then click on delete. Okay, we were looking at the fleet number. So I have a table, a list, sorry, a list which has the primary key in the SharePoint, and the primary key here is the fleet number. Okay, the question is how to define a primary key. Well, defining primary key is a little bit tricky. Here you don't have any option to select a table as a primary key, even in the edit grid view. Here there are no options. So yeah, it's actually, this is not to declare a table as primary key. The settings are available in the site contents itself. You have to click here, then you have to go to these 3 dots and then click on settings. And in the settings, just go to these are the column names I have, and you have to click on this column name and then go inside it, and here there is the information that enforce the unique values option here. So I have clicked yes. So then yeah, if it is yes, then no duplicates will be allowed in that table. So let's test it, because I have clicked it as yes, and if I will try to create a, let's say, NAB1234, NAB1234, and type of fleet is LNG. Let me create this duplicate LNG, and if I try to save, you see here it showed there, but when I refresh, the data is gone there, and the data is gone, so it doesn't overwrite or doesn't do anything. So this is how you ensure that there are no duplicates and all the fleet numbers are unique. So this is how you declare a SharePoint list with primary key. Then I have another table, that is service station list, where the trucks means the list of service stations. So if you see a star schema, I have one dimension table as the fleet numbers, and the second dimension table is the service station list. The service station list has information about all over Europe, which are the service stations available. So I have just created test dummy names and cities and the zip codes. Don't go into the literal meaning of these things because these are non-existing. And here also the station names I have declared as unique. So this is the primary key here. And if this is the primary key, accordingly, all the remaining attributes are connected to this primary key. So here we saw, so okay, one dimension table as fleet number and second dimension table as the service station list. Now let's create a fact table, and the fact table's name I have given as log of breakdown and servicing. This is another SharePoint list. Like I have created another SharePoint list that is log app transactions. So yeah, it's the same way. Yeah? Let me show how to create another list. And here I created a blank list, that is I'm saying it as log fact table, and now this, so create, and it is created. I want to remove this title, so I will go here and click on settings and go here. Then I will click on this and just I will say no, unfortunately no. Okay, so then the title is not unique anymore. And if I want to, can I delete this one? Column validation. Okay, it doesn't allow me to delete anything. Okay, okay, I cannot delete the first column, but that's good. That's okay. From here also I can create new columns, but let me go to the table itself and let me create. Okay, the fact table is here, so I will add a column that is okay. Here the trick is that I want to, in star schema, I want to create foreign keys here, as well as if a foreign key is here, then bring in the second information from this table to here. If the foreign key of this table is here, then bring in the second attribute information, means this is the primary key, so bring in this information to here. That is the idea of star schema. It reduces like a manual entry effort, and it makes the SharePoint list more automated. Okay, so there is a trick here, guys, and the trick is using the lookup functionality here. The lookup functionality, if I click on next, then let me say fleet number and lookup. I want to look up from the fleet number application, from the fleet number SharePoint list, and bring in the fleet number. Means this is the foreign key now. With the foreign key, bring in the information of other tables or other columns also in this transactional table or in this log SharePoint list. So I want to bring in this information here also along with fleet number. If I click on save, here you see that I have bought fleet number and fleet number type of fleet, both information. We'll see how this is working. Let me add all the columns here. So I will bring in the station information also. Station, if I bring a station, then look up, then I want to use the SharePoint list, that is service station, and bring in the and use the station name because that is the primary key in the station list table. And then with that, bring in the information of zip code, currency, and city information also. Okay, so this is the table, and let me start entering. Okay, also what I would like to do is that I would like to hide this title so that it becomes very clean. And show and hide, I want to hide this one. Okay, apply, and this is here. I will go to edit. Let me add. You see, guys, you don't have to enter also anything. You have to just click and here the data will, this is read only, it will not allow you to enter because this is a lookup, this is the foreign key here, and automatically the information will get reflected when I exit the grid view. Here I will bring in that, okay, this truck was repaired at station Kal, and then these are the only two information I have to give. If I execute the grid view, hooray guys, you see already all the information are here, I don't have to enter anything. Bam, this is how star schema is helpful, less entry and more automation. Imagine if you have to enter 1 million times in a day all these three records or all these records, which is very difficult. So by doing this distributed by following the small designs, it's really helpful guys. There is also snowflake schema. Snowflake schema and snowflake schema is like, okay, you have the dimension table, the dimension table have further extensions to another dimensions. So this is how the snowflake schema works. And also there is galaxy schema, and the galaxy schema has this kind of option where the fact table, there are two fact tables and multiple dimensions there. This is how this looks like. So data modeling is a very, very important knowledge to have to make Power Apps more efficient and SharePoint work more efficiently. Okay, so this is about the domain of SharePoint list. Now I want to create Power Apps. So what in Power Apps I have here is that I have the fleet number, means I want to enter here. The idea is that I have a fleet number list, but I want to populate the fleet numbers more. If there is a new truck added, then okay. So, and also okay, but no, okay, no. This the first screen. Okay, let me go to the yeah. First screen is that is the log fact table, where it asks me only to give information about the fleet number. This is the foreign key app, so it will bring in the information of the type of the fleet number, type of the truck, and then I have to give in information of where the truck was repaired. So if I submit, then okay, not this table, but I have already created a fact table that is log app transactions, and here you already see that sum 123 a few seconds ago, and this is the station where it was repaired, and then yeah, bum. Here the fleet number is a foreign key, so it is not unique. We have declared that not unique here in the log transactions. This screen is for entering the name of the fleet and where it was repaired. Also we can attach how much cost for repairing is here, so that is okay. So this is the fact table, and if I want to add data to the transactions table, then I can add fleet number like Cuckoo 256, and type of fleet is hybrid, like both LNG and diesel. If I submit, I come back to my home table. So I'm going to show how I did it. But if I go here and then refresh, here I already see that Cuckoo 256 hybrid is added to the SharePoint list. Okay, let's go to the design part. In the design, guys, it's very easy. This table I created by inserting a edit form, and when I insert an edit form, it shows me something like this. Then I have to assign a data source. Here I have assigned the log app transactions, and when I assign it to log app transactions, it gives me all the field of log app transactions, but I don't need all the field. I have to delete the title, I have to delete this one because and I have to delete this one, not needed, this one not needed, this one not needed. So here I how I did it. So this is the table that I created with that delete and all those customizing options here. So then okay, I have the log transactions table, and okay, I have my submit button. So this is here you see to which SharePoint list this form is attached. Here I have a intelligent button here. Creating buttons is not a rocket science. Here you can add a button here in your screen. The button 3 is added, and then to the button I have to assign some functionality to it. So for like I created button this, I have edited its name as submit, and then to this button I have said if I enter data here for the fact table, then first and so here in screen one, this is screen one I have one two three four buttons. So one two three four buttons. Each button, if I click on this, then I have a form 3, and this the name of the form is this one, form 3. So if I click this button, then first push the data to the SharePoint list, the fact table, then reset it, and then again show me a new form, means remove all the records that I entered here manually. This is a kind of a small technique. Remember the formulas, guys, it is easy. Or ask ChatGPT to help you to create this kind of commands. Okay, so this was the importance of the submit button. Then I have also form means add fleet number. If I click this one, then it helps me. This navigate functionality is that it will help you to navigate to form 4, and this I have created another screen. So for each, like I don't want to create anything, do anything here. I want to go to another screen. For another screen, always you have to either duplicate or you have to add a screen here. So I've added a screen, that is the fleet number screen. Here you saw, if I click on add fleet number, then it will help me migrate to or navigate to this screen where I can enter the fleet number and the type of fleet. This is also a edit form, like insert and edit a form here, and this form is connected to my SharePoint list, that is a dimension table, that is the log app fleet number. And here the function of the submit is that it will submit the form, reset it, new form, and then navigate to screen one, means help me to go back to screen one. Let's test it, guys. If I do preview app, if I enter something, then if I click, yeah, it migrates. We already saw that. Then in screen one, I also have add station name, like the same if I want to add station names to it. But the last one means, suppose over the period of 1 year, people started adding in the fact table all the logs where the fleet, which type of fleet, where it was serviced. But then over the period, if it becomes thousand, 10,000s, imagine that. So I want to only see the last 10 records. So I have created a button, and I have created data table for it, and the data table is in a new screen. If I go to this new screen here, guys, the trick is that here I have created a data table. Like for example, if you click data, and it shows that okay, data table is under preview data table. And here what I have done, I have sort by columns, the name of the SharePoint list, and then in the SharePoint list I have a button called no, I have, when the record was created, I have this table, I have this column. So I am sorting based on the created table column and sorting in descending order. So all these formulas one has to remember, means all these syntaxes one has to remember, and then the life becomes easy. Well, I have used data table for easiness. Also there is another option to create the similar table with more functionality, because here now I cannot edit the record. Either the option to edit is, like if I will go back to my means these are the tables, dimension table I created, and this is a fact table which we already discussed. But okay, create form, create buttons, navigate, we discussed. Okay, there are two ways to display data, that is using data table or a vertical gallery. Vertical gallery means, here if I will go and insert a vertical gallery here, it gives me something like this. Galleries are easy, and here, yeah, one can layout. I can select the layout, select the layout, whatever I want, and then I can add labels to it. I can add display mode. Let's say the data is connected to the service station, and okay, means there are two ways of editing records. Suppose you entered something wrong here. Either you can have a vertical gallery or you can have a data table. Well, the idea is that, guys, to make it more, to implement the CRUD technique, that is create, replace, update, and delete, it should be user friendly and helpful. So right now, what I do, I go to the SharePoint only and edit in grid view. I edit the data which I need to edit. So right now, that is how I do it, because it is handy, and yeah, and then it is controllable also. Otherwise, people who have access to these power apps, everyone can then implement CRUD. So to make it in a more structured and controlled way, right now it's just for people, it's just a UI, and for developers they have the access to everything, to the SharePoint, and they let them decide what is good or bad, what is good or bad. So the CRUD technique is best from my point of view is to apply in SharePoint list only, rather than doing anything in Power Apps. Power Apps is only for the view and for sorting. Like I can sort it in descending order and hide this one, so the first 10 records are only visible. And if somebody makes a mistake, then they have to raise a ticket or a call the developers. Okay, guys, I made a mistake. Please edit in the SharePoint list. In that way, the whole process is robust, and although it's a little bit of yeah, little bit how I can say cumbersome, but then okay, it's controlled then from data quality point of view. Okay, so this is the whole paradigm. I can make it more user friendly look. Like I can add images, I can add background color, I can do a lot of stuff here, guys. And so sky is the limit here. But for now, this is what I wanted to share, and how you can implement star schema, how the CRUD techniques, and yeah, what are the tech, and also okay, I will means please check these videos, guys. In these videos, they really share how one can create vertical galleries, and how one can
Actually,
create
I
vertical galleries
want
which looks similar to data table, but it has the option to edit also. But for now,
now we need to uh,
I am not going into the details, because when you have a lot of records, it's difficult, because Power Apps is very slow. You can use for the like Azure Apps or Databricks or Azure SQL Server Studio Management. For small scale works, Power Apps is easy and handy. Okay, without further ado, thank you, guys, for being in this journey. Like and subscribe, and let me know if you want to learn more about anything. The next video will be regarding how to use Azure Maps API and calculate the real distance on the road between two geolocations. This is useful for data analyst, guys. So stay tuned, guys, and do like and subscribe. We'll see each other in the next video. Till then, have a nice weekend and happy Easter.